So I spent about 2 weeks messing with this capture card and testing it out and seeing what I thought about it, put it through its paces a little bit. And this is a capture card from Cloner Alliance. It's called the Flint 4KP Pro, and it's an interesting capture card. Do I think it's for everyone? I don't think so. Do I think it's for some people? I think it hits that market for some people, and you're going to find this to be an interesting and very different capture card from what we have on the market, especially since it captures 4K HDR, which is very interesting seeing that in a kind of mobile footprint, something that Elgato actually currently doesn't have at the moment, if I'm correct. So let's talk about this thing and tell you if it's worth, your money and who this kind of targets in general. What's going on, guys? Chad here from How To Tech, the channel dedicated to helping you take your tech to the next level. And we're going to be talking about this capture card from Cloner Alliance, the Flint 4KP Pro. And the naming convention and scheme aside, I do think that's a little weird. And I'm not a huge fan of the branding if you look at this device. I feel like it just looks too business generic, but aside from all that stuff, that's not what's important. What can this thing do? Because apparently it can do 4K HDR. And I don't have any way of really being able to test whether or not a capture card is recording in HDR. And if you guys have any comments on that or ways to be able to test that, let me know in the comment section down below. But I did capture a 4K signal that was sending HDR from my computer to a TV, and it seemed like it was capturing it properly with no problem. I just can't tell if exactly that was HDR or not, but it does record in 4K and it's not bad. You can use this for live streaming since it has the pass-through if you're playing console gameplay, or even routing in a camera or something into it, you could do that as well. It's an interesting product. Some of the things that stand out on it is that this capture card connects via USB-C to your computer. And the reason why that's very interesting is because it means it's not like some of the capture cards that we see from Elgato, like the HD60 Pro, which captures in 4K, but has to be in somewhat of a desktop computer because it only connects via PCIe, and that essentially means you can't put it anywhere connected to something like a laptop, which kind of sucks if you want to use it somewhat in a portable situation or let a friend borrow it or take it somewhere else and throw it in a bag really quick. Can't really do that with a desktop computer, and that's where this thing kind of shines. You're going to get 4K and you're going to be able to take it on the go with you, so that is really cool. We also have the ability for a line out, a mic, and a line in, so it gives you some flexibility with this if, say, you were plugging it into like a laptop or a tablet style computer that really didn't have these inputs. You have it on this device, which is really cool. Once again, it has an HDMI in and an out port, so you'll be able to do pass-through for consoles. And in my opinion, this is kind of where the pros and the cons end. It can record 4K, and I believe it can do it up to 60 FPS, and that's kind of where this falls apart. While using this product, I did feel like my frames were lacking a little bit. I felt like the frames were dropping through this capture device, and I'm not sure why. I did a monitor capture or a display capture or game capture through OBS, and that worked perfectly, and my gameplay looked great. I tried using this and through OBS, and I didn't think it looked that bad, but it did seem like the frame rate was a little off. I used my HD60 that I've got plugged into my computer, and I thought it looked pretty good. But whenever it comes to the software that Cloner Alliance is kind of pushing with this, it is horrible. I don't know what the problem was. Maybe it was my computer and the way the codec's installed through the software, but the compression looks awful. There should be some video shots on screen for you to be able to see it. And while I was talking a second ago, you should have been able to see the other footage from what I was talking about for OBS and all that other stuff. With that being said, what do I think about this thing? I think it's good. I think if you use it with something like OBS, you're going to get good quality. But at the same time, if it's not something via HDMI and it was like, say, a computer game you were playing, just use game capture through OBS. I think it's going to look better. Now, will I be using this on a day-to-day basis? Because technically, I really don't have any need for HDMI pass-through. I could do with something like an Elgato Cam Link. Well, I'm not going to be using it because the only reason I use an HDMI is specifically for my DSLR camera, and like I said, an Elgato Cam Link seems like it would be a much better solution. But I haven't bought an Elgato Cam Link, and the reason why is because I do have an HD60 in my computer, and plugging up to it, the frame rate seems a lot better, and it seems more responsive to what's kind of going on through the camera. It doesn't seem to be as laggy from time to time. So that is why I will be going with that. who do I think this product is for is probably the question that you're asking. And I think it's for people who want to capture 4K footage on the go through any type of computer without having to lug around a desktop and actually get 4K footage captured to it. Now, I probably wouldn't recommend Cloner's software. I would probably recommend you using something like OBS to directly record this footage that comes off of this thing. So I think it's a good product. I think it's very affordable at the price point it's at, and it's portable. I don't believe it's for everyone, and go ahead, take the pros and cons that I've given you in this video and kind of stack those up against each other and kind of figure out if this is a product for you. For me, I think I will strictly just use this for capturing console gameplay whenever I decide to do that. Right now, I don't really have any aspirations for that because I play PC games, but for the console gamer, this might be a pretty good budget option to be able to capture 4K and HDR and even be able to pass that through onto your console without really any latency at all. So all right, guys, that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Go ahead, destroy that like button, get subscribed, turn on notifications and other stuff for future videos from How To Tech. If you want to be like these lovely people that are on screen right now, then think about becoming a YouTube member. Our members get early access to videos, discounts on merch, custom emotes, badges, and much, much more. Big thanks to all of you guys for watching this video. Peace.